Hello, everybody. Welcome to Yoga for Self-Love with Kim. I am Kim. This will be a 30-minute gentle practice. We'll bring in a little bit of fire element to bring up our energy, stoke our inner fire, bring our focus to our solar plexus area, the seat of our willpower, our sense of self, our determination, our confidence. You'll need a couple props for today's practice. Grab 2 yoga blocks if you have them, and also a blanket. If you don't have yoga blocks, you could grab a couple of blankets instead, or a bolster if you have that. And also grab a folding chair if you have access to a folding chair. You could use a kitchen chair, any other kind of chair, maybe an ottoman, something like that. And we'll just use it briefly towards the end of the practice. So bring yourself into a comfortable space to begin your practice today. Whatever that feels like for you. You can lay down on your back in Shalabhasana. You can find a comfortable seated position. You can support yourself however you like. And just allow yourself to settle in wherever you decide to land. And take a moment to wiggle around, adjust, get comfortable. And then allow yourself to quiet down, settle in, close your eyes, and draw your attention inward. Let go of the external world for now. And take this next 30 minutes just for you and your yoga practice. Be here with yourself. And begin to let everything relax. Let your whole body relax. Your feet, your legs, your hips and pelvis, your buttocks and your belly. Relax through your back, the low back, mid back, and upper back. Relax through your torso, your rib cage, your chest, your collarbones. Relax your shoulders and arms, your hands and your fingers. Relax your neck and your throat and your jaw. Relax your face, your eyes, your eyebrows, and soften that space in between your eyebrows, your third eye space. Relax your cheekbones and relax your temples, your forehead, and your scalp. Relax your mind. And begin to check in with your breath. Notice how your breath feels. I invite you to bring in the intention as you move through your practice today to be gentle, kind, patient, compassionate with yourself. Don't force anything, just allow and see what your body has to offer you today. And take a deep breath in through your nose and sigh it out of your mouth. Another deep breath in through your nose, sigh it out of your mouth. And then one more deep breath in through your nose and sigh it out through your mouth. So let go of anything you're holding on to. Let it go. And come back to your breath. And begin to call yourself back. Bring in movement, wiggle fingers and toes, yawn, sigh, wiggle. And find whatever movement feels good here. And gently waking yourself up. And if you are in a seated position, take a moment to slowly find your way down onto your back. Extend your legs down the mat, reach your arms up overhead, reach it out, fingers to toes, and then bend your knees, drop your feet down to the mat, draw your knees into your chest, and take your arms out to the sides in a T formation, turn your palms to face down. We'll drop both knees over towards the right side to hover above the floor. And then pull your knees back into center. Drop both knees over towards the left side to hover above the floor. Pull the knees back to center. Now begin to slowly move this from side to side. Knees drop to the right. Back through center. Knees drop to the left, and then back to center. A couple more times, keeping the inner legs together, inner edges of your feet together. And then release your feet back down to the mat. Again, extend your legs out, arms up overhead. Reach up through the fingers, down through the toes again. Find some space through your belly. And then relax. Bring the arms back down alongside your body. Bend your knees. Walk your feet back in. Now pick up your feet. Bring the inner edges of your feet together. Knees draw in towards the chest. Keep the inner edges of your feet together. Begin to open your knees out to the side. Reach your hands up towards the ceiling. As if you were pressing your hands up on the ceiling. And then we'll begin to curl up, keeping the feet and the legs as they are. Begin to curl yourself up and bring the arms inside the legs. Pressing the hands maybe towards the wall in front of you. And then slowly lower your head, shoulders, torso down. Keep the legs as they are. Again, curl yourself up. Bring the arms inside of the knees. Press the hands towards that wall in front of you. And then release head, shoulders, and torso back down. We'll do that a couple more times. Curl yourself up. Hands come inside the legs. Release it down. Curl it up. And release. And then one more time. Curl up. And lower yourself down. Drop the feet back down to the mat. Release the arms down. Take your feet wide to the outer edges of your mat and drop the knees over towards the right. Bring your knees up to center. Drop the knees over towards the left. A couple times, just wave your knees side to side. And then bring the knees up, walk your feet in. Roll yourself over to one side. And then use your hands to press yourself up into a seated position. Find any comfortable seat. Take the hands to reach out in front of you, or bring hands to your shins or ankles or knees or thighs. Now we'll tilt the pelvis forward. Drive your heart down towards the mat or towards the floor, then lift your heart up. Open through your upper back. Begin to curl yourself back, round through your back. Bring your chin down towards your chest and roll your pelvis back. Inhale, drive the heart forward again, lift the heart up. Exhale, roll yourself back, curl it in. Couple more times. Inhale as you dive the heart forward and lift up. Exhale, curl it back. And then bring yourself back up to your starting point in your seated position. Now grab your 2 blocks or your bolster and your blanket. We'll take our 2 blocks, cross your mat, one right next to the other. The blocks are down on the low, wide height. And then take your blanket and we'll cover up the blocks. Just make them a little bit softer. Give your blocks a little bit more cush. And likewise, if you have a bolster, you could just use the bolster instead of this block blanket arrangement here. Begin to bring yourself forward. You come down onto your belly and bring the rib cage up on to the blocks. So bottom of the rib cage, sort of right underneath the boob area. And then lean yourself forward onto the blocks. Take your hands down alongside the shoulders here. Press down into the hands. Elbows tracking up over your wrists. Tuck your toes under. Press into your hands, down into the balls of the feet, and lift your legs up. So we're coming into a Chaturanga Dandasana, low push-up pose with the assist here of our blocks and our blanket. And then lower your knees down to the mat, untuck your toes, press into your hands, slowly bring yourself back, bum back to your heels, and take your hands around behind you. Lean back on the hands, lift up through your heart. Just find a little opening through the belly. And then we'll walk it forward. Slowly you bring yourself forward again. Rib cage to the blocks. Wrists underneath your elbows. Tuck your toes under and begin to lift the legs up. Pressing the backs of the legs up, activating through the legs, pressing down into your finger pads, turning on through the core. And then lower your knees down, press into your hands. Slowly bring yourself up and back. Sit up on your heels and bring the hands around behind you. Lift your heart up. Let's do that one more time. Come forward. Rib cage, chest up onto your blocks. Bring the hands alongside you. Elbows up over your wrists. Tuck your toes under. And then activate through the legs. Lift the legs up. Reach out through the heels, out through the crown of your head, down through your fingers. And then lower the knees back down. Untuck the toes. Press into the hands. Send yourself back. Fingers back, and you lift your heart up. And then bring it forward. You can move your blocks, your blanket out of the way, or your bolster out of the way. And let's take it forward, all the way down onto our belly. Slowly find your way down. Hands underneath your shoulders. Press into your finger pads, into the tops of your feet, into your pubic bone. Begin to peel your heart up and forward, finding a baby cobra. And then lower yourself down. Again, press into your fingers, into your toes, and begin to peel the heart forward. Hug the elbows in towards the rib cage. And release down. And then one more time, press into the fingers, lift the heart up. Baby cobra. Release down. Reach your arms forward, palms facing in towards each other. Press into the tops of the feet, down into your pubic bone. And now we'll lift the head, the arms, the shoulders up. Stay heavy down through your feet. Reach up and out through your fingers. And then release. You can bring the arms down to the top of your mat. Make a little pillow for your forehead. Rest your forehead down. And now we'll lift up the legs only. Lift the legs, the feet, the shins, the legs. Hug the inner thighs in towards each other. And then release the legs down. Reach the arms forward again. And we'll put it all together, bringing ourselves up into Shalabhasana or locust pose. Lift up the arms, lift up the legs, root down into your pubic bone. Few deep breaths here. And then release yourself down. Take your hands underneath your shoulders. Press yourself up into a table position. Release the belly now. Take a few rounds of your cat-cow. Soften the belly, lift the tail, draw the heart forward, and then press into your hands, round your back up towards the ceiling, look towards your navel, roll through here a few times. Bring yourself to a neutral spine. Now tuck your toes under, press into your hands, hug in through the arms, lift your hips up and back, downward dog, press down through the hands, down through the heels. Find movement here or stillness. You can pedal out your legs. Bend and straighten your knees or rock yourself side to side or back and forth. Or just find some stillness, few nice deep breaths here. And then slowly walk or crawl yourself up to the top of your mat. So bring it into a forward fold. Lift up your belly off of your thighs. Hinge from your hips, so we're not rounding through the low back here. We're hinging from the hips, folding in, belly down to the thighs. Shake out your head, rock your hips. And then bring yourself to center. And bend the knees a lot so you can get your hands down onto the mat. And we'll begin to move back and forth between the hands and the feet, changing the distribution of weight from the hands to the feet. So begin to slowly take the weight forward into the finger pads, into your fingers, your knuckles. Shoulders will come forward over the wrists. You can keep the feet down, or if you like, you could roll up onto the balls of your feet. And then you slowly bring the weight back into the feet, back into the heels, and come up onto your finger pads. And then plant the hands down, slowly shifting the weight forward into the fingers, into the hands. Maybe you lift up onto the balls of your feet. And then slowly lower heels down, come up onto fingertips. One more time. Plant the hands down, slowly transfer the weight into the hands and fingers as you roll up onto the balls of your feet. And then slowly weight comes back into the heels. Come up onto your finger pads. Now take your hands around to your hips, press down into your feet and rise all the way up to stand. Bring your palms together at your heart. If you have a folding chair, you could grab your chair here. We'll just use it briefly. If you don't have a folding chair, you may want to use some blocks instead. So start by facing your chair with the seat facing you. We'll step the right foot back and come into a warrior one. So bend that left knee. So you're facing up towards the chair. Press down into that right heel. Reach your arms up along your ears. And then we slowly begin to take it forward into a warrior three. So if you're using blocks, you could have your blocks in front of you on the tall height. You slowly begin to shift the weight forward into this left leg, hands to your blocks or hands to your chair back or chair seat. Send the weight into that left leg. Begin to lift up from your belly and send that right leg up and back. Press into your chair seat or chair back with your hands or your arms. Lengthen out through the crown of your head and back through that right foot. Keep that right hip squaring down towards the mat so hips are level. And then slowly step right foot back to the mat. We'll bring it back up into warrior one. Bend the left knee. Sink it down. And then release your arms. We'll step up. Other side. Right foot forward, left foot steps back. Root down into that left heel. Bend that right knee. Hips forward up towards the top of your mat. Being gentle on that back knee. Press into your feet. Lift up through the belly. Draw in and up through that low back. Up through the fingertips. And then slowly we take it forward. Now hands come forward to your chair seat, your chair back, your blocks. Weight transfers forward into that right leg. Begin to send that left leg up and back behind you. Left toes pointing down towards the mat. Slowly you step yourself back. Bend that right knee. Sink it back down into your warrior one. And then release the arms down. Step forward. And we'll do that one more time on each side. Right foot back. Bend the left knee. Reach the arms up, warrior one. And now we slowly shift the weight forward, hands to chair back or chair seat or blocks. Lift up from the belly, send the right leg up. Lengthen out through the spine. And then slowly right foot comes back down to the mat. Bend that left knee. Lift up. And then release the arms down. Step yourself forward. Other side, left leg steps back. Bend that right knee. Arms reach up. Warrior one. And then we take it forward, hands to the blocks, to the chair seat, to the chair back. Lift up that left leg. And then slowly you take it back. Left foot comes back to the mat. Bend that right knee. Reach the arms up. And then release the arms down as you step forward. Move your chair out of your way. Let's take the arms out to the sides and up, palms together overhead. Soften your knees, pull your hips back, fold yourself in, ragdoll, forward fold. And then bend your knees and slowly lower yourself down into a squat. Take your hands around behind you and slowly lower yourself back down to the mat. Take it into a Shavasana now. If you like, you could use your chair here as well to elevate the legs up onto your chair. So you lower yourself down. Swing the legs around, up onto the chair. If you feel like you need a little bit more height, you could tuck a blanket underneath your calves. And find your way into your Shavasana. Adjust yourself. Maybe roll the shoulders underneath you a little bit. Maybe rock the head from side to side. And then let yourself relax. Drop back in. Get quiet. Come back to your breath. Stay in your Shavasana for as long as you like. The longer the better. When you feel complete, begin to call yourself back. Invite movement back into your body. Wiggle fingers and toes. Roll out wrists and ankles. Yawn, sigh, wiggle. Stretch. Bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Check in and notice how you feel. Come back to our intention, being gentle, kind, patient, loving, compassionate with ourselves. And then release your hands and slowly roll yourself over to one side. And then press into your hands. Press yourself back up into a seated position. Bring your palms together at your heart. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today with love and gratitude. Namaste.